Hello and welcome to this next tutorial on making the most of executive coaching. This tutorial is all about your commitment to being coached. Now you may wonder why I'm addressing this as a separate tutorial, and I know that I've already mentioned the coachee's commitment in previous tutorials that we've covered. The reason I'm addressing this separately is that there is a myth about coaching being a soft option, that it's soft and fluffy, it's a really soft thing to do, when in actual fact the reality is that coaching can be challenging and it can be very stretching. Now many people really love being coached and they enjoy the challenge and the stretch that this provides them with. But for some, it can be a surprise to find that being coached actually feels like hard work at times. So that's why I've introduced this tutorial, and I'm going to take us through some simple questions to ask yourself that will help you think about whether coaching is the right time for you, and also to look at the responsibilities that you have as a coachee when you're being coached. So let's look at the 4 questions first of all. So when you're thinking about whether you want to engage in a coaching program, the first thing to think about is your current circumstances and what it is you'd ideally like to be achieving. So you may find that you are in a situation where you've got lots of challenges going on, life, work is very busy. How on earth can you fit coaching in? I'd invite you to think in that case, to consider how coaching can help you. Because when we're faced with lots of challenges, that's when it's really, really important to sit back and have that time to reflect. But you have got to want to do that. I think that's the key to it. Secondly, you may want to work on your development, and you may want to actively get involved in developing particular skills or particular ways of being that will support you to take your next career step, for example. Again, it's about it being the right time for you and thinking about what can you get out of coaching. And considering that will help you make a choice as to whether you want to engage in it or not. Having thought about that, I then invite you to think about what's your mindset like? Are you prepared to be open-minded, to learn, to receive feedback, and to really engage in the whole learning process? And beyond that, are you prepared to take experiments, to not just engage in the conversation with the coaching sessions that you have, but also take action outside of those sessions, try different things out, log your learning, keep a record of how you're progressing. All of those things really help you get the best you can from your coaching program. And finally, I'd invite you to think about reflecting and spending time to reflect. Coaching itself is a reflective process. When you work with a coach, you'll be asked lots of questions that will stretch your thinking and encourage you to think in different ways. Are you prepared to do that between the coaching sessions as well? And think about the impact that you're having or the results that occurred from the experiments you might have taken. That takes some reflection to really learn from all of that. So in our next slide, here is a summary of the responsibilities that the coach, the coachee, and your line manager, if you're in the organisational context, has. You can see from the coach's point of view, it's very much about creating that safe psychological space, co-creating a contract with you that will support your programme, and also making sure that the boundaries of confidentiality and the contract that you've agreed are fulfilled. It's also about stretching and challenging you through the questions they might ask and also the listening that they provide you with. For you as the coachee, you can see it is about being committed to taking action between sessions, to come to sessions prepared, knowing what it is you want to work on, and knowing that you set the agenda for each of your sessions. For your line manager, it's about being supportive of you and your coaching program. So occasionally in organisations, the line manager may get involved in the coaching sessions, particularly the first and the final sessions. And the reason for that is so that anything that needs to be out in the open is out in the open. The line manager supports the selection of the outcomes that you as a coach might be working on, but also you agree different ways that your line manager can support you. And I think that's the most important thing to remember, is that when you're going through coaching, absolutely your coach will support you, but you also want to think about who outside of your coaching program can help you as you progress through it. You may take on trying on some very new behaviours during your program, and it's valuable to get feedback from your peers or from your line manager or from other people in your life. When you're clear that you've got that commitment and you're really happy to take that on, then you're in a really good place to be coached and to make sure you get best value from the program. That concludes this tutorial. Please join us for our next tutorial, which is all about setting really compelling outcomes. See you there.